Hi all, I am adding here a very quick little follow-up video to my Embarrassment of Riches Tarot Haul video um, that I've posted, just to share some quick impressions about the two new Albano-Waite, well they're new to me, the two vintage Albano-Waite decks that I've acquired. So the first is a Tarot Productions version of the deck. So this is the true Albano-Waite, published by Frankie Albano in 1968 or thereabouts. There were at least 8 versions of this deck that came out. There were several versions of it that differ in the boxes, not in the actual cards or cardstock, but there were several versions of the standard sized deck that came out. The ones that say New Color Deluxe Edition are the later versions of the deck. The earlier ones, again, the cardstock and the cards themselves don't seem to differ, but the boxes do. The earlier ones say, instead of New Color Deluxe Edition, they say Accurate Color Tone. And then different versions of the standard size deck, the 78 card deck, either came with instructions or didn't come with instructions. And some apparently came with a surprise toy. I need to learn more about that. Frankie Albano, about whom we know basically nothing, also produced a standard size version of the deck of just the 22 major arcana, and he produced a giant size version of the 22 major arcana. These are hard to come by, and I'm still kicking myself for not picking up the giant major arcana that came available on YouTube, on eBay probably about a year ago now. And this is really collectible, he did produce a miniature version of the deck in the same vintage. Now, this is not the Frankie Albano miniature, the Tarot Productions miniature version. This is a reprint from US Games. This is also a little bit hard to come by. It's out of print now. You can still find it, but see, it's printed in Belgium, so this is probably a 1990s probably 1990s or early 2000s version. It's got the ISBN and barcode. And it's the same vibrant colors, the deluxe edition. It's the same version of, or the same format as the miniature Rider-Waite. But this miniature version of the deck, the US Games version, while it's lovely and fun and sweet and little, it suffers from the same issues that the other US Games version of the deck suffer from, in that the colors are just not true to the Frankie Albano deck. I mean, they still pop. They still carry out, I think, his goal of returning the deck to what he saw as a more accurate esoteric coloring. You know, you've got these crazy yellow skies. You've got truly stark whites. The blues are more vibrant. Some of the cards, like the Four of Swords, don't look very different. Some of them do look more vibrant. The backdrops of the Pentacles, the court in the Pentacles are this blue. So it looks really different from the Rider-Waite version. But when you compare the Albano-Waite as produced by US Games with the vintage Albano-Waite, you know, it's like everything is like toned down. So, you know, the difference of this, the orange of the Three of Wands and all the orange backdrops in the wands, the way in which the lime green is really lime green, and then it becomes sort of a more pale pastel in the US Games version. This is such a quintessential 1968, you know, Summer of Love. I guess that was 67. The Lover's card. And in fact, for the musical Hair, this image was used as a handbill during the be-in scene in that musical when it was first produced on Broadway. And just, you know, look at these colors when you compare the US Games version, the red of the wings, the purple of the angel's cape, the purple of the background mountain, the green. I mean, everything is just slightly less intense. And then even a card where the colors are not so different. This is one of my favorite cards in the Albano-Waite, just for the coloring. That the green and the purple in the kind of the cliff and the grass, the red of his cloak, everything just gets sort of toned down slightly. It's subtle, but the contrasts are just slightly less intense. The sky in the US Games version is just like a little bit more like a normal sky. In the Albano-Waite, in the original Albano version, it's more green. It's a little bit nauseous making. And then something like the kind of green backdrop for the Pentacles, you can really see it's just not as vibrant. It's not as psychedelic, if you want to say that. Everything is just a little bit less intense. But the place where you really, really, really see the difference, because it just sort of shifts into a whole different register, is in the backdrop for the court, the Pentacle court, which is really lavender. Really, I mean, it's a purple in the original, and it becomes blue in the US Games edition. Also, of course, you know, there's no copyright in the Albano original edition. So there you have it. I'm thrilled. I couldn't be happier to have, you know, a mini Albano-Waite, so I'm thrilled about that. And I'm in love. I have a cup, well, I've now traded one away, but I have a Belgian printing of the Albano-Waite, but it's the US Games version, so the colors are muted. The cardstock is nice, at least. And I have 2 vintage versions now of the Terra Productions, and I'm glad to have both. But I have to say this recent version is just, the cards are in really, really nice shape. And I'm in love. Okay. All right, y'all. Peace. Take care.